is TV 10 Action News with Hugh Thomas, Kathy Schmaltz, meteorologist Joe Kopacek, and sports with Tim Stout. Now, here's the leader, TV 10 Action News.
Good evening. Kathy has the night off. Lansing City Council has moved swiftly to fill a vacancy in its ranks and save the expense of a citywide election. Tonight, 2 weeks after the death of longtime Councilman Lou Adato, council members voted to appoint Bob Brockwell to Adato's unexpired term. As Eve Mueller reports tonight, there was some disagreement, not over the candidate, but the method used to select him.
Lansing City Council held its second meeting after 23-year council member Lou Adato's death. And in his remembrance, the council passed a resolution naming Fire Station Number 1 after Adato.
Lou was intensely interested, and I think he would beam all over to know that number 1 fire station was being named the Lou Adato Fire Station.
Yeah, I think the firefighters were real dear to Lou. Something that he always took an interest in. We went to retirement dinners. We spent a lot of time, actually, with the firefighters.
And while council paid their tribute to Adato, they also voted on his replacement, Bob Brockwell. Brockwell watched as he was voted in 6-1.
I think that the council needs to look at neighborhood concerns. I think we have to be good listeners. I don't think that that they have been that good of listeners for neighborhood concerns in the past, and I hope that by my being on the council that they will have a sympathetic ear.
He's a gentleman who is very stable and has the background of knowing how to put a paycheck together, and I think that's rather important to know, given our budget years that we're going to be having to deal with.
Charles Ford, the only member to vote against Brockwell's appointment, says he's concerned with the process by which Brockwell was selected. Many others at the meeting and fellow council member Pat Lindeman agree.
Well, first of all, I believe that the process should be open. It should be a mechanism by which citizens can participate. This was a closed process, and I completely and totally disagree with that.
Even though Brockwell has found himself in the middle of controversy, no one doubts his ability to do a good job. After his official swearing in, Brockwell introduced his family. He's looking forward to his first meeting as a Lansing council member next week. In Lansing, Eve Mueller, TV 10 Action News.
Though the vacancy left by the death of Councilman Adato has now been filled, another looms with today's announcement by Police Chief Charles Riefsnyder that he's stepping down. The chief says he's decided to retire from the force January 18th after 38 years, the last 2.5 as chief. Riefsnyder says he's looking forward to retirement.
Well, I'm going to miss it. Oh, yeah. Going to miss the men the most.
An outstanding person. He's very people conscious. I mean, he's an emotional person, and he's a very sincere person, and as far as being a chief, he did some really significant things for this police department.
The police board and the mayor will choose a successor from candidates both within and outside the department. Well, it looks like school taxes for homeowners in the Howell School District are not going to be falling anytime soon. Today, voters went to the polls to decide several bonding issues that would generate new money for the construction of a new elementary school, administration building, as well as the renovation of an older building, 3 older buildings in the district, and also the construction of a new swimming pool. And tonight, with 4 of 6 precincts reporting, the building and renovation issue is winning by a slim 100 votes, about the same margin for the pool proposition. However, the request for a bond issue for a new administration building is going down to overwhelming defeat. Members of the Marine Corps Charlie Company will be up very early in the morning. They're meeting at the Reserve Center for the start of a trip that will take them some 6,000 miles to the Saudi desert. Before dawn, the 163 members of Lansing's Company C, the 1st Battalion, 24th Regiment, departs from Camp Pendleton, California for training before eventual deployment to the Mideast. Today, local members spent time with their families and put finishing touches on their gear. The first of the Americans held hostage by Iraq are returning home. 150 arrived today aboard a chartered jet at Andrews Air Force Base near Washington. Meantime, the Bush administration is downplaying the release. Defense Secretary Dick Cheney saying today the military threat continues to grow. We get a report on the latest developments tonight from Steve Handelsman.
The first freed hostage to emerge from the chartered jet snapped a photograph. The rest were themselves a picture of the mixed bag of Americans who'd been held by Iraq or who'd hidden out in Kuwait. Richard Anderton of Larkspur, Colorado, had taken refuge in the U.S. Embassy in what's left of Kuwait City.
I've never seen a city that's so trashed in my life. It is like it's like the aftermath of World War III.
This home video shows the kind of cramped, dark hideouts that had been used by some Americans and Britons in Kuwait.
We had a false wall built so that when we got in there, even if they did come up into the roof space and open the hatch to have a look, they still wouldn't see anything. We were behind that.
Tonight, the 152 freed Americans at Andrews Air Force Base were bussed off for private reunions with loved ones. U.S. government specialists standing by to help them with travel plans and resettlement expenses. Publicly today, the president's men kept up their attacks on Saddam Hussein.
As he has released hostages, he has simultaneously continued to build up his deployments in Kuwait.
But Saddam has won from the U.S. the talks he demanded, if a schedule can be worked out, and reports persist that he'd settle for 2 Kuwaiti islands and 1 oil field. Congressman Les Aspin smells a deal.
But basically, essentially, it's going to be a diplomatic settlement of some kind.
A settlement that Iraq insists must include a UN conference on the Arab-Israeli conflict. If the U.S. is leaning toward a compromise with Iraq on the Palestinian question, tomorrow could be critical. A meeting at the White House between Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir and George Bush. At Andrews Air Force Base, this is Steve Handelsman for NBC News.
A 5-year-old girl died and 17 people were hurt when they got caught inside an apartment building that blew up early today at Fort Benjamin Harrison in Indiana. The building, which housed military personnel and their families, was being evacuated following a complaint about gas when a natural gas line ignited. No word what touched off the gas line or how the gas line ruptured. Fire officials have been on the scene coordinating the evacuation several hours before the blast occurred. No members of the 323rd Military Police Detachment from mid-Michigan were involved in that. Still to come in the news tonight, we'll tell you about a new survey that lists the most expensive places in the world to live. And we'll attend a memorial tonight in Lansing for the victims of drunk drivers.
TV 10 Action News is brought to you in part by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube wants your oil change business.
Hi, I'm Dave Patterson from Jiffy Lube. Is your car ready for winter? Cold weather starting is very hard on your engine. And all those stop-and-go trips to the corner store add up to one thing: sludge, engine wear. Coming to Jiffy Lube for an oil change complete with the world-class protection of Pennzoil. This year, give a gift they'll be sure to use, a holiday gift certificate for an oil change from Jiffy Lube. Stop in today at any Lansing area location. Happy holidays from all of us at Jiffy Lube in Pennzoil.
This time of year, every year, it's gift shopping, tree trimming, card sending, entertaining. So when I find something that saves me time, I go for it. Like party trays from the Kroger Delicatessen. They've got 16 varieties, each made to order, so I get just what I need. This year, save yourself some time. Order a party tray from the Kroger Delicatessen.
Pick up your party guide at the Kroger Delicatessen.
Hey, who's this?
Season's eatings from KFC.
How did you know we wanted a holiday meal? He's got a list.
Holiday specials at Kentucky Fried Chicken, just $9.99 each.
So, really, what do we owe you?
The holiday meal, just $9.99. 10 pieces of chicken, large mashed potatoes, large gravy, large coleslaw, and 4 hot buttermilk biscuits, just $9.99.
Solemn observance tonight in the steps of the state capitol. About 50 people turned out after dark tonight for a candlelight vigil to honor the victims of drunk driving accidents in Michigan. The observance, sponsored by the Ingham County chapter of MAD, marks the beginning of a holiday drunk driving prevention program called Hope for a Less Violent Future. Beginning in February, women who use birth control will now have a new choice, the Norplant, a device that works up to 5 years and is 99% effective. Today, the Food and Drug Administration approved Norplant, the biggest advance in contraceptives in 30 years. 6 matchstick-sized silicone rubber capsules are implanted in a woman's upper arm, and they release a hormone slowly over time. Price is expected to average between $200 and $300. That doesn't include the cost of implanting the device. And it looks like we're in for another sunny day tomorrow, but it's going to cool off just a bit. Joe's forecast is next.
Hudson's would like to remind you that we're approaching 2 of the shortest days of the year. Hudson's 2-day sale, only 2 short days, this Wednesday and Thursday.
Taco Bell's done it again, oh my. It tastes so good and tastes so fine. 3 new menus at a great low price. Tastes so good and tastes so fine.
Check it out. All our favorites have great low prices, like delicious soft taco supreme and our new great tasting nacho supreme. So run for the border.
3 new menus at a great low price. Taco Bell's done it again. Run for the border.
Dusty Cellar in Okemos says, be different this holiday season. Gift certificates are a great idea for relatives, friends, and business associates. Or how about a scrumptious wine and cheese basket full of goodies? Or a unique, useful basket of consumables, including a delightful array of beers and snacks or foods. And we deliver, including, for you, and all Michigan food products which we custom make. Thousands of gifts on display, Visa or MasterCard, at Dusty Cellar on Grand River in Okemos.
At Michigan Bell, we don't make our employees the kind of people they are. They make us the kind of company we are.
Space Shuttle is back home tonight. The shuttle Columbia had to return a day early due to bad weather forecast out in California for tomorrow night. The night landing at Edwards Air Force Base was flawless. Although the crew had to cut short its stargazing mission, Columbia's astronomers say they're exuberant over what they've seen so far. I don't believe there's any bad weather forecast around here the next few days.
No, we could have landed the shuttle here, I guess, right on 127. There you go. Oh, more nice weather for us. We're in for some real nice weather the next couple of days. Maybe the weekend's looking a little shaky. Yeah, but let's enjoy the next couple of days right now. Mostly cloudy skies, 33 degrees at Lansing, Jackson 34. Even the wind chill's not too bad this time around, only 30 degrees. The relative humidity is now 61%. East winds are at 5. The pressure slowly falling and no rain or snow today in the mid-Michigan area. Our high temps climbed all the way up to 44 degrees at Lansing, Jackson at 46. The lows this morning 30 and 31, so both of those were above the normal. Still plenty of clouds around the mid-Michigan area now. Latest satellite pictures show some breaks starting to show up, especially in the southwestern part of the state. Now there's plenty of clearing off to the west, right through portions of the western Great Lakes. Big area of high pressure situated right in here is slowly pushing in our direction, sort of eating away at the